Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, and today we are going to talk about the new roadmap that just dropped for The Sims 4 for the summer of 2024. Yeah, I'm really glad I did not wait until this morning to publish that leak video that I put out last night. That was pretty interesting to go over, so if you haven't already watched that, feel free to watch that video after this one. So yes, new roadmap, let's go over that and the finer details as well, because there's probably some hints within the icons like there was before. So this one is being declared the Season of Love, Let Love In. So first, we have a teaser for 2 free updates: Priming for Passion, Polish My Look for a Sultry Splash. Yes, stylish updates to be precise. And then the meeting, A Little Nectar, led to a provocative plunge. 2 destination kits, we already know what those are. And then Fountain of Desire made waves, but we woohooed anyway. This town here, 1 flirtatious expansion pack, Make Your Move. And then it just ends. There's no time frame of how long this roadmap is gonna last. We could assume 3 months until the end of July, but it could go on longer than that. So let's go over each of the main 3 points, starting with these 2 free stylish updates. We have a hand clearly showing off their nails, so looks like we're getting some new nails for free. That's nice. Off to the right, we have a hairstyle, and I think that's just hinting towards the previously announced locks hairstyle that we're supposed to be getting in July, which is the last part of that collab with Ebonic Sims and Dark and Lovely. There could be more hairstyles that we're getting, but I'm just going to keep my expectations low and assume it's just for this one. Now let's move on to the second part of this roadmap, which is about everyone's favorite DLC, kits. So 2 destination kits. I'm sure these were the leaked ones that I covered the other day. Looks like my speculation about one of them being a Parisian-themed cafe is even more likely now. And then we have the pool kit. Looks like at least one of those 4 rocks in that leaked item list is actually a waterfall rock. So that just proves more than ever that those item lists are really underselling what's actually in these products, because even if these were never leaked in the first place, a lot of people's first impressions of these kits are potentially the item list, because you can see those on the main menu. So yeah, I wish there could have been some way to better illustrate that yes, there's a waterfall animation on at least one of those rocks. Sure, you could go out of your way to watch a content creator review this DLC once it's out, but I don't think you should have to do that. And I know I'm saying this as a content creator myself, but it's not an excuse to really skimp on your own internal marketing. Anyways, it is also worth pointing out that the archway by the pool looks very similar to what we have in the item list, so another thing, I guess, validating the leak. But then let's move on to the last part. The expansion pack, Fountain of Desire. With just the whimsy cartooniness of The Sims, I would not be surprised if that's an actual object in the expansion. It's most likely not a wishing well though, because that's already the main selling point of Romantic Garden stuff, which came out many years ago. Also, I want to point out the made waves bit, because while yes, that is a phrase for saying that you're like making a disturbance of some kind, it'd be funny if that was to be taken literally, so that, oh, okay, maybe there's a beach neighborhood in, assumingly, a new world in this expansion pack. Like, actually, the style of these buildings in the roadmap are probably also a hint at a new world. It's supposed to be 1 flirtatious expansion pack, so definitely a romance theme. It would be a pretty obvious choice to make a Paris-inspired world for this, even though that would be pretty close to the bottom of my personal world's wish list. There's so many places I would rather see first, especially something inspired by African countries, but for a theme like this, it would make sense if they were to do something inspired by Paris, or at least France. You can see some skyscrapers towards the end especially, so maybe we are getting at least one neighborhood that's more like a city. One last detail is that there is a food stand there, so we're probably getting new food in this expansion pack, which would not be surprising. So if this ends up being a French theme, we'll probably get some French-inspired cuisine. Now, with the main points out of the way, there's one last thing I want to go over, which could be a huge hint towards a feature that so many of us have been wanting for a long time in The Sims 4, and that is online dating. Because near that blue building on the left, there's a phone with a heart on it, and I can't see it meaning anything else besides online dating. So, finally, we should not need mods for something like that. And, like, yeah, in The Sims 3, when we got that with Seasons, I guess online dating was still new-ish, but now it is so much more common, so we should really get that in the free update before the pack, instead of it being exclusive to the pack. Something like that should be made available to everyone. On the other hand, though, they have locked things like public toilet stalls behind Discover University, and the video game console to City Living, so I wouldn't put it past EA to lock that one behind a paid DLC too. So now my overall thoughts on what we're getting. Well, 2 free updates is pretty much what I would expect. The kits, well, I guess to summarize what I already said in my previous video, I like getting stuff for pools, but I think what we need more of in that department is more gameplay objects, like a slide, a pool bar, and that sort of stuff. So more cosmetics isn't really gonna do it, and there are some odd decisions like that. Like, why is there a torch in that when there should have been one in the Castle Estate kit? The Parisian Cafe looking one is probably something I'm not gonna use much, if at all, so I don't really care a whole lot about that, unless it does directly match the theme of the expansion pack, but then that's also sucky that it would be DLC for a DLC, basically. We already know how much we hate that. But then a whole expansion pack themed around just romance? Really? I hope there's something like hotels to better justify this, because this just doesn't seem like enough. Like, a game pack at most. We already have my wedding stories, so they can't focus on weddings as a selling point for that. And also, this just seems like a theme that they could have pulled off much better earlier on in The Sims 4's lifespan. Like, think back to The Sims Hot Date or The Sims 2 Nightlife. Both of those are romance themed, but they were early expansion packs when they hadn't covered as many features yet in other packs. So it's like, well, restaurants? We have those. Bowling? We have that. Stores? We have that. Cars? No, stop there. But yeah, like, basically there's a lot less that they could just easily do as selling points for a romance pack. They could definitely put in some spicier romance interactions, but that paired with a new world and a few recipes is not enough. There's gotta be at least one other major thing. I'm also more concerned about the world size after what happened with Tomaragan for Rent, because that was even smaller than the worlds we typically get in an expansion pack. I'm hoping that it is just because with residential rentals, it's much easier to quickly accumulate the amount of lots that you have in a world if you use them. Like, say, if you have a residential rental lot with 4 units, because of even like having to go through a loading screen and everything, you're basically having 4 lots in a single space. So they probably had some kind of limitation because of that. But then, since this new expansion pack wouldn't have residential rentals, then hopefully they can go back to at least giving us worlds with like 13 to 15 lots. I wish we could have even more than that, but that's just what we were usually getting, so I'm not going to expect more than that. I guess one other feature I could imagine being in this pack is the return of turn-ons and turn-offs, like what we had in The Sims 2 and also in The Sims 3. Though I figured that what we got with social compatibility and growing together was replacing that as a sort of more general thing and not as specific, but if they're going to do a whole pack themed around romance and also probably the return of online dating, it would make sense to have some more romantically inclined preferences to just make those things make more sense. It's too bad that game packs seem to be on the back burner, probably replaced by the comeback of stuff packs. So I guess if game packs end up returning eventually, then stuff packs will go into temporary retirement yet again. One last thing I want to talk about is the timing of the DLCs, because I find it so weird that they dropped this roadmap on a Monday when they could have just waited until Tuesday, because Tuesday's when we usually get major news. So I think we may already get those 2 kits this Thursday, because theoretically then they would drop a patch and the announcement of the kits on Tuesday, and then Thursday would, be the release date of the 2 kits. And they always release 2 kits at the same time now, so I don't think they'll release them separately, even though I wouldn't mind that. It'd be nice to just review 1 kit at a time again. But I can see that as valid reasoning for them dropping the roadmap today when they could have just done it tomorrow. So there's just not too much happening on the same day. As for the romance expansion pack, I was already thinking July, because maybe it could drop at around the same time as that update or Sims Delivery Express drop, whatever it'll be, that will give us that Locks hairstyle. But if they release those 2 kits so soon after the roadmap, then I wouldn't put it past them to release it in, say, like mid-June. They do like lumping stuff close together. I just don't think they would do it to like the extent of having a roadmap patch and kits announcement all on a single Tuesday. But yeah, they don't spread things too far apart most of the time. That's pretty much it. So overall, I'm not really that excited about this roadmap. Just 2 kits, 1 expansion pack that has a theme that has me really cautious about it. If it was, say, a music theme and bands were a focal point, then I'd be way more excited about that. I really hope this romance expansion won't break too much, that it won't be as buggy as For Rent was. I'm just getting back into playing the game more now. So, yeah, we'll see what happens when we get more details on everything. But for now, I'm just kinda meh. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts on this roadmap in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!